April 3rd, stand tall. We're going to dive right in back to the art of war. The Army on the March, verse 27. When there is much running about and the soldiers fall into rank, it means that the critical moment has come. Verse 28. When some are seen advancing and some retreating, it is a lure. 29. When the soldiers stand leaning on their spears, they are faint from want of food. And then it goes on to talk about some thirst and some other things about being exhausted. And so it's always about looking for the signs. What do you observe in the enemy? And alternatively, what can you observe in yourself as your weaknesses in these critical moments? Okay. So we know about the plotting, seeking peace without a treaty. Chen Hao said to that. And they want to use the power against you. Okay. Master Sun, those who busily set out arrays of armed vehicles are expecting reinforcements. Jialin says they wouldn't rush for an ordinary rendezvous. There must be a distant force expected at a certain time. When they will join forces to come and attack you, it is best to prepare for this right away. Master Sun says if half their forces advances and half retreats, they are trying to lure you. Dumu says they feign confusion and disorder to lure you into moving forward. Yep, and then if they brace themselves as they stand, they are starving. When those sent to draw water first drink themselves, they are thirsty. Jing Yu says people lose their energy when they do not eat, so they brace themselves on their weapons to stand up. Since all the men in an army eat at the same time, if one is starving, all are starving. Wang Chi says, by these you can see their ranks are pursued by hunger and thirst. And so always observing. All right, let's jump over now to the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. And let us see. Deceived and divided. Circumstances are what deceive us. You must be discerning in them. We embrace evil before good. We desire the opposite of what we once desired. Our prayers are at war with our prayers. Our plans with our plans. Seneca, Moral Letters 45.6. I mean, just like how many times in your life have you had that inner dichotomy of like what you want and what your plans are versus the opposite of what we once desired? We embrace evil before good. The circumstances are what deceive us, right? So like change your environment and then you can change your outcome in many ways. A woman says she wants to meet a nice guy and get married, yet she spends all her time around jerks. A man says that he wishes he could find a great job, but he hasn't actually bothered to do the looking. Business executives try to pursue two different strategies at the same time. Straddling is called, and they are shocked when they succeed at neither. All of these people, just as is often true for us, are deceived and divided. One hand is working against the other, as Martin Luther King Jr. once put it. There is something of a civil war going on within all of our lives, a war inside each individual between the good parts of their soul and the bad. The Stoics say that the war is usually a result of our conflicting desires, our screwed up judgments, or biased thoughts. We don't stop and ask, okay, what do I really want? What am I actually after here? If we did, we'd notice the contradictory and inconsistent wishes that we have, and then we'd stop working against ourselves. So what are you after? Are you after money or are you after a good life? Are you after a comfortable life? Are you after a fulfilling life? What are you truly after? What is your true desires? And so as we look to the big picture of what the Daily Stoic is reminding us of, just like those who go to get water, if they drink first, or those who are leaning on their spears because they're hungry, it's divisive in many ways. They're not fed or their thirst isn't quenched in a certain respect, and neither can yours be metaphorically if you look at things from the big picture, because you haven't asked yourself what you truly want. And I'm not saying that they're in that position through their own fault because they're soldiers, but and how many times do you subjugate yourself to being just a soldier in life?